Let go of the situation, and it will resolve. In life, sometimes things happen that our mind does not expect. Our minds are programmed with assumptions about how things should be, what people around us should be like, how they should behave, how our careers should develop, and so on. As a result, our expectations and reality often clash, leading to shattered hopes, broken hearts, and unachieved goals. We face difficulties, become preoccupied with our problems, and wonder how to proceed. There is a way out. Trust the flows of the space of possibilities. The reasoning is simple. These flows embody the purposefulness that the mind seeks. They follow the path of least resistance. The mind tries to reason logically and rationally, relying on cause and effect relationships. However, the imperfection of the mind prevents it from flawlessly navigating the surrounding world and finding the one correct solution. Nature, on the other hand, is inherently perfect. Thus, the flows possess more purposefulness and logic than even the wisest reasoning. The mind will make mistakes, but far fewer if it moderates its zeal and, where possible, allows problems to resolve without active intervention. This is what is meant by letting go of the situation. In other words, one must loosen their grip, reduce control, and not obstruct the flow. Give the surrounding world more freedom. Most often, we create obstacles in our own lives by generating excessive potentials. If we reduce the importance of the obstacle, it will dissipate on its own. And if the obstacle persists, we should not fight it, but simply go around it. The mind's tragedy is that it tends to perceive events that do not fit its scenarios as obstacles. The mind usually plans and calculates everything in advance. If something unforeseen happens, it actively fights against it to force the events to conform to its scenario. As a result, the situation only worsens. The mind cannot ideally plan events, so here we must give more freedom to the flow. The flow is not interested in breaking your destiny. That would be purposeless. It is the unwise actions of the mind that break destinies. We also divert ourselves onto negative life paths through our reactions to situations. Here, we must recall the principle of coordinating intentions. Every event on the life path has two branches, a favorable and an unfavorable one. Whenever we encounter an event, we choose how to relate to it. If we view it positively, we end up on the favorable branch. However, our tendency towards negativity makes us express dissatisfaction and choose the unfavorable branch. Imagine how much more joyful life would be if the mind reduced its importance and acknowledged the right of deviations from its script to exist. Practice mindfulness and observe, even for a single day, how the mind tries to seize the world by the throat and subjugate everything to its beliefs. Now, try loosening your grip on control and giving more freedom to the flow. This does not mean agreeing with everyone and accepting everything. Just shift your tactics from control to observation. Strive to observe more than control. Do not rush to dismiss, object, argue, prove your point, intervene, manage, or criticize. Give the situation a chance to resolve itself without your opposition. By relinquishing control, you will gain even more control over the situation than you had before. Looking back, you will realize that your control was going against the flow. The suggestions of others were not devoid of meaning. There was no need to argue. Your intervention was excessive. What you saw as an obstacle was not really one. Problems resolve themselves favorably without your involvement. What you received, despite not being according to your plan, turned out not to be such a bad option after all. Even after gaining this knowledge, many may still ask, "But how do I let go?" It's easier said than done. Here are some additional tips. Accept it. Often we are not ready to admit that the scenario our mind devised is a losing one. Instead of discarding it or walking away, like leaving a bad movie at the cinema, we stubbornly cling to it, wasting time and ruining our mood. Divert your attention from the situation and move on. Introduce something new into your life that you have long wanted to try. How do you let go of a situation? Don't think or worry about it. Find a new love, job, activity, friends, hobbies, goals, and dreams. Move forward, leaving past failures behind. Don't hold on to your fears, resentments, and missteps. Start anew. We have all abandoned jobs, relationships, and places of residence before. Though the uncertainty can be daunting, it is also exciting. Act boldly. Practice mindfulness. If you feel your thoughts becoming negative or causing you to cling to something, ask yourself, what am I feeling? Analyze your thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations. Then focus on your breathing. Feel the air entering and leaving your lungs. Allow yourself to feel whatever emotions arise while concentrating on your breath. Breathe through each emotion. If your thoughts start to wander, refocus on your breathing. Use positive thought forms. They will allow you to shift your attention from worries and calm down. Memorize thought forms you find appealing, and repeat them whenever you find yourself dwelling on the past or clinging to something. Remember the main principle of transurfing. The world reflects your attitude toward it like a mirror. When you are dissatisfied with the world, it turns away from you. When you fight the world, it fights back. But when you stop fighting, the world comes to meet you.